I love her voice.
Three, two, one, Mr. Jerome, everybody.
Well, I'm going to be moving around here quite a bit and try my best to keep focus on the camera at you. So, before I get started, I want you guys to remember if you got a home base and you're still confused after this class, make sure you make an appointment with your PA or your personal assistant. And for those who are out of state, make sure you email Robert to set up a personal Zoom session so we can try to explain it to you one-on-one, okay? The subject today's class is on both the SU and A series organ. I do have a SU organ to the left of me, but instead of me moving around a lot and going back and forth, I'm going to put the camera on the SU instrument last. Okay, so if you got a problem with the class or you didn't quite understand something, if you're out of state, make sure you send Robert an email, and he will set you up with the right person or with the right appointment time, so we can schedule that with him. He takes care of all of those things there. Or you can call me personally at the store here, 520-696-0460. The subject today is going to be how to set up the instruments and about the instrument, both SUs and A's. And if I got E series instruments listening, like marquees, it's going to be the same thing. The verbiage might change, and I'll explain when I get to that point, okay? The easiest way to set up the instrument is to song setup. Song setup is what you're going to do is you're going to hit the song setup button and you're going to scroll, okay, and select. All right, when you scroll and select, we'll get over here so you can possibly see what I'm seeing the buttons. Like I say, if you can't see exactly what I'm doing, make a personal appointment with your PA. Song setup on the screen for the most part. You're going to touch it. They're going to come up in alphabetical order. And you're going to scroll until you find something that you might like to play. Let's say you want to do Alley Cat. Then you take your finger and it's going to turn blue real quick. Once you turn blue real quick, it's ready to go. And this particular setup is going to give you the introduction too. But one thing it doesn't give you at first, and remember this, write this down, it doesn't give you the presets that's going to go with Alley Cat. It's going to give you the Lowry 10 presets. So what you need to do once you make the song select button is to turn on your normal preset button or your sound or your preset select button, okay? Just turn it on and you set to go. I don't ask me why they did that, but I guess they want you to really like the Lowry 10 presets, okay? But that doesn't set it up for the song you're playing, for the rest of the presets to fill in exactly right. Here's Alley Cat. And of course, this is kind of a Lenny D song. It gives you the Lenny D sounds along with the Ace Cannon saxophone sound. Those two guys played together back in the day, and I'm old enough to remember that. I actually was a backup piano player for Ace Cannon at a New Year's Eve party. And the whole thing was how Lenny D was used to make his jokes, and I won't even begin to tell some of them, okay? Also, Lenny D worked for me down in the St. Pete Mall at Southeast Keyboard, so I knew both those guys, okay? But it's going to give you Alley Cat, the Lenny D style set band members, okay? Long as you hit the normal presets first or your style setup button first, okay? On the marquees and E series, all right? That is the easy way. I'm going to repeat it again so we make sure we get it, okay? The first easy way to set up the Lowry organ, and they did this on purpose because they got tired of trying to teach the salespeople how to demonstrate this instrument. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, but this was a simple way to do it without going through a whole lot of stuff up at front where we're playing for the community. Let's go to Song Setup. Let's do it one more time. Write this down if you don't have it. Song Setup. Now, when you find something you like, okay, you want to scroll, Always on My Mind, Kenny G or Willie Nelson, one of the other ones. So I'm going to tap it, and it's going to slightly turn blue. Slightly turn groove. As soon as you get your finger over it, it's back to white, but it's set up, and you're going to hit the normal preset button, okay? Or your organ preset, either one, because this is going to give you the registrations for all of that type of style. All of Willie Nelson country band guys now are in there when I turn that button on. Because Always on My Mind is a beautiful song. Oh, I love that piano sound of there. Down. All right, I'll put that on one of my recordings one day, and I'll send it to you for $20 a copy. All right, no, I'm just kidding. All right. So, anybody got any questions about the song setup? Maybe I should put this on gallery mode on my side so I can see the rest of the folks here. Let's see here. Since I see the handshakes, I see. Okay. No question on that, Robert. I think everybody got that one. All right. Now let's go to. Let's go to the other way of setting up. You have also a mode on here on this particular model and also on the SU, except for the Royale, I believe. This is one upgrade that they did from the Royale to the Stardust, okay? You have a button that's called Style List. It's going to pick these, see all these blue buttons on the left side here? It's going to put all of those in alphabetical order. Another way, you're going to scroll and select again, okay? So let's go scroll. Oh, I want 50s love song. It turns blue. Now this time, the blue stays on. Did you notice that? It stays on, but it doesn't give you the introduction. So you're going to have to turn on the introduction. But you know the thing, it does also give you the normal preset button, so that's a good thing. Now, at this point, you probably advanced from Red Book 1 to Red Book 2. So now you get a chance to add your own intro because most of these got 2 introductions on it. It said, okay, I'm tired of playing the simple way for you. Let's see what you can do yourself. So you've heard the introduction 1 enough. Now you want to try introduction 2. Turn it on, and you're set to go. Normal preset button is already on. So anything from the 50s love song area, you're going to get those band members, okay? The lovable strings, okay? The nice solo saxophone session. Maybe even they might even throw in a nice country piano guy, okay? Here's 50s love song, which is one of my favorites because you can play a lot of songs like The Platters, you know, the old belly rubbing songs, I call them. My mom used to listen to these when my dad used to go uptown on Saturday nights. You know how the farmers were. They work all week long, and they go uptown and play some cards, you know, on Saturday night. So mom get into the melancholy mode with the records, okay? And so you got stuff like this. And you can pretend that you're Elvis. Wise men say only fools rush in, for I can't help falling in love. All right, enough of that crooning kind of a thing, okay? But that's the kind of a song you get. Let's do that one more time. This is the style setup way to do the instrument, okay? Style setup. You hit the style setup, and they are in alphabetical order. What it did, it took all these blue buttons over here under your orchestra sound, orchestra rhythm plus orchestration. It's going to put them in alphabetical order for you, okay? So you just still again, scroll, and select. Ukulele Luau, one of my favorite Hawaiian backgrounds. It gives you that Ben Crosby, what's the name of the sisters? I forgot the name, but anyway, that Christmas Lucky Strike kind of a background. Listen to it. It's kind of really nice.
No extra charge for the hula dance today,
No
Jerome?
extra charge for hula dance. Unless you got
All
some
right.
pineapple.
Whew.
No, if you got a big thing of Mai Tai or something like that, we'll just have one of those, okay? At any rate, now we got that screen. That is 2 ways you can set up the instrument. You also have that feature on the EY series, okay? Style select. I mean, rhythm select. All right, let's get out of that mode. The next way this seems to be the most, probably not hard, but people don't quite get it, okay? It's the blue button area. Now you want to pick from the blue button area. I call it the blue button area. Now the A series organs from this one, I mean, not this particular one, but we're starting at the Symphony and the Patriots and the Sterlings. You got a little bit different blue button area because what they did, they combined those buttons together because they didn't have enough room on the organ to put so many buttons. So they kind of combined it. You got a couple of pages to each button. On the Prestige Plus, which I'm sitting at right now, if I hit Broadway, this is one of Robert's favorite backgrounds, okay? It's got New York Swing on it, okay? Before I hit New York Strings, before I hit find New York String, first of all, it comes up opener. But in order for me to find the rest of the Broadway buttons, I got to put on variation to find the rest of them. And they're going to pop up on the screen. Now, on this particular model, you get 8 more. So you actually have 9 different backgrounds for the Broadway button. And he loves New York Swing. Okay. New York swing. If you want to pick another one, just hit the Broadway button again. As long as you keep your variation button on. Now we can pick epic movie. All right. Now it does allows the normal preset button to come on with it. All right. So you don't have to worry about that, like in the song setup button. This is the one you want to cry on. Along with those 9 that you got on each button, you also got altered style. So how many we got now? We got actually 18 different rhythms on one button. So that's a lot to work with. For those who have the Royals and the gonna have less of these on the screen. Okay, actually you're gonna have about, I think it's 5 on the Royale, 6 on the Stardust, and when you go up to the Prestige, you're going to have about 9, okay? I could be wrong on that, 1 or 2 off there, but as the series got better and better over the years, they've started putting more variations on the instrument. That is number 3 way of setting up the organ. Now, here goes the hard part, okay? And I tried my best to teach this. If I hope Cecilia was out there today, teach this in class a lot. Now you got the organ, you've had it a year and a year and a half, and Stan, you need to trade up. It's 2 years. Or no, I'm just kidding with you, Stan. Okay. All right. But now you're ready to explore yourself. Okay. You want to set the organ up yourself, and you want to start from scratch. This seems to kind of get people attention a little bit because you can do it. First of all, let's do this. Let's hit our reset button over here on the left side here. And for the most part, all the Lowry's got a reset button. And what it does, it just basically takes it back to startup mode. It doesn't reset the whole organ. Remember that. The reset button doesn't reset the whole organ. That's another process for that. You know the 5 fingers, if nobody's told you yet, is E, F, A, B, C. Hold down, turn the organ off, turn the organ on while bringing back, holding down the E, F, A, B, C, and then let it factory reset. This button on the left side here that says reset doesn't reset the whole organ. You won't lose your presets if you touch that. It just takes it back to the power up mode. Okay, so we're gonna hit the power up mode, and if you notice, when I hit the reset, only thing that came on, only lights that came on here was the normal button and the upper sounds button. So now I can start from scratch. Let's say I don't even want the normal button on. So turn it off too. We're going to start from scratch and create a rhythm. Try to write these down in order if you can. So I'm going to go back right now, reset, turn off the normal mode. Now you have just organ. But I don't want organ. I want piano. So the first thing I'm going to do is see that upper red tab button right there? Turn it off. Now we have nothing. We have zero organ right now, okay? But I'm going to go over here to the left and turn. I notice my upper is on, but I don't have an instrument that is assigned to it. Let's put piano there. Okay? And first, especially for people who like piano, okay? First thing I do is hit the octave button, which is over here on your right side, and bring it down 1. And also, the second thing I do is hit dynamic keying. That's for us old piano players. I'm going to go through it one more time, all right? Reset the organ. It doesn't take long for it to go back up power up mode. The normal preset button comes on, turn it off. The organ button comes on, turn it off. turn on piano. This is recorded, I'm hoping. And we're going to hit the octave lower and dynamic key. And now we got a nice piano sound. I'm going to turn around. When I'm teaching, I get into a zone sometimes. But I'm going to turn around and kind of play the piano part for you a little bit, okay? Remember that I don't want the pedals on either, so I'm going to reach over. I got them already off, all right? Isn't that nice? That's a nice piano sound. Well, Jerome, how do I keep it there? The first thing you do is going to go, and this is going to be recorded, so I'm going to say this in order. Slow the video down when you actually see it again, okay? I'm going to memorize the alphabet, the number, with style, memorize. I'm going to say it one more time. Memorize the alphabet with style, the number, memorize. By the way, with style and the number could be in any order. It doesn't matter, all right? That's going to be recorded, so if you don't want to write it down, you'll have it. Now, when I start up the power up mode, my instrument is going to be on the piano. Did you know that? Because you know where I got it at? I got it in A1. It's going to always be there. Now, the next preset, I might want to add my rhythm. And a lot of you guys out there know I love the gospel settings on these. And under the soft and easy button, soft gospel is number 2 under the variation, by the way, okay? On your marquees and A series and upper A series organ, it should be almost in the same spot, okay? Except for the marquees might have a gospel button that has more variation, so it might not be just number 2, all right? Now, what I'm going to do is test this out without any accompaniment. Okay? By the way, this particular restoration will be great for gospel. A lot of the Beatles, like Yesterday, let's see here, we could do John Lennon, a lot of nice soft songs, okay? So now that I got my second registration up, I'm going to memorize A2 with style, memorize. Now, I don't want but one more registration for this song. Say we're going to do For All the Lonely People. Let's put on the accompaniment, and we're going to add the strings with the piano by hitting both buttons together. Now we got 2 instruments there. Let's test it out. Okay, we're going to memorize A3 with style, yes. Now, remember this. This does not affect your normal preset button. I still got the normal presets in there. They are still waiting for me to access them if I wanted them. Right now, I just made 3 registrations for John Lennon's. Let's try it a little bit. A little bit of it, just to kind of give you a taste, okay? That's the fourth way, and I'm glad we're recording this because now you can see that you can do four different ways of setting the instrument up. Okay, I'm going to move over here a little bit, so bear with me here. I'm going to slide over the bench here a little bit over here to the SUs, and we're going to turn the camera around. Can you see that? That is a performer, which is called a SU430D. It was one of the last SUs that was made, okay? I'll put them in order for you. They had an SU300, which was the Legacy, SU400, which was the Rhapsody, SU500, which was the Royale, and an SU600, which was the Grand Royale. Now, the Royale and the Grand Royale differentiate between by looking at the pedals and the bench. The Grand Royale has the big bench, nice back on it, and it also has the long 25 sticks on the floor. The Royale has the 18 pedals, but they're shorter, okay? Now, the Royale was actually was the change of total technology with Lowry. Because a lot of you guys knew I worked for many other different models out there over the years, Techniques, Yamaha, Roland, the whole bit. And very true, if you're watching new Techniques and Yamaha and Roland owners, there's not much of a difference in how to set up those organs. They all got the same type features. It just may be a little bit different in the verbiage when in other words, just to say memory, it might say save, or it might say something else like setup. But it's just a difference in verbiage on some of the language on all of the popular brand names that was made in it for the USA back in the 90s, our glory years in the organ business. I call it myself, okay, because it was really good because it was a lot of competition out there. And business, believe it or not, business love competition because that's how businesses grow. All right, the biggest difference between the
Hey, Jerome,
uh-huh.
don't forget there's also, you mentioned SU300 Legacy, SU400 Rhapsody, SU500 Royale, and you said the SU600 Grand Royale. There's also the SU430 Sensation.
And
The one you're on is the SU430D, you said?
Yeah, which was the
Performer.
last,
And then there's the SU530 Stardust
right?
and the SU630 Palladium. Those were all of the SU series models.
Now, one thing smart about Lowry, they really didn't change the button setup hardly much at all on these instruments. This one still has a variation button. Actually, got two on it. Okay, so sometimes you might have to hit, say, country, and you might have to hit variation 1, and on the screen you got variation 1 and variation 2. But when you hit the variation 1 and 2 together, it'll give you the rest of the rhythms, okay? And this one actually has 3 more. So you got, let's go back here so I can do that again. You got the rhythm in the blue section. You got variation 1. You got variation 2. That's 3 variations right there, okay? It's kind of weird with the numbers. Then when you hit the 2 buttons together, you're going to get 3 more. So this particular model has 3 different rhythms to it. Craig, on the Liberty, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, all you have to do is worry about you got 2 screens. So as soon as you hit your rhythms, the rest of them are going to come up on the right side. If you got Phyllis, you have a Liberty also. If you got a Marquee, yours going to come up. Okay, that was a really big change in technology from the SU above the Prestige to instruments like the Patriot, the Sterling, Liberty, and then the Marquees. They they sit back when they was up in Chicago doing these things. What can we do to make the instrument better? And these ideas actually came from people like Robert, me, and Joni, and quite a few other people that's in the company. You got to do this like this, and you got to do this like that. So that's how these instruments like this evolved into what you got right now. But actually, you can sit down at one, Curtis, and play it just like you would play your Liberty. These are the difference I'm showing you, okay? But if you notice the presets, rhythm presets compared, well, over here on the Prestige, it's called normal presets. It's the same. It's the same button. Just a word change. Okay. Or style select. It's a word change. Okay. I don't know why, but people, kids today, they come up with a lot of different phrases and stuff. And I think people at Lowry did the same thing. They say, I'm tired of saying it this way. Let's say it that way. Okay. So you still get the same type of verbiage here. Okay. Um, your classic setups, all of the rhythms here are basically the same. You do saving the presets the same. You do song setups the same way. Song setup. You scroll and select, or hit the. Just basically do this, and it's going to turn blue. See that? It went blue. It didn't come on. You turn it on if you want it. You turn it off if you don't want it. If you don't want to, if you want to create it yourself, still got the reset button over here. Hit the reset button. It goes back to the power up mode. A lot of you got computers, it's always going back to the power up mode. Mine went back this morning, said it was giving me an update. And the next thing I knew, I had some dancing frogs on there. Okay. But at any rate, now I'm back to just the instrument, and I want to create something myself. I turn off the rhythm presets, turn off the upper tab button. Now, one instrument that doesn't have the upper tabs in the right place, if you got questions with the legacy, you might want to call us on that one because that's set just a bit differently, okay? But your Royale on-up should have the same lines of buttons here, okay? Before I close on this particular session, I hope you guys got some questions, and I hope you learned something. These classes sometimes can go a little long, and sometimes we can overwhelm you with the knowledge. So we recorded this, and hopefully you can go back and look at something. And like I said, if you're confused, call your PA at your local Fletcher Music Centers, or set up. Robert normally does scheduling times with people from out of state for a Zoom demo because he knows what all of us doing, except for me, and I'm next door. Okay, I'm in the office next door. Okay, we never knew what's going on between each other, but he normally controls all of the appointments, or he can point you in the right direction, or he'll call that salesperson personally and say, "Look, Craig needs some help on the Liberty." Okay, or Stan say he's coming in tomorrow. So just send him an email, Robert Roman at FletcherMusic.com, and he'll be glad to help you out. I'm gonna go let Robert come back on right now, and I'm gonna
Yeah, it's rroman at FletcherMusic.com.
All right.
And if you need to email me, you want an easy way to do it, folks. The emails that you get for these announcements of the classes and virtual that comes from my email. So you could just reply to one of those and what have you. So Jerome, you're going to finish up with a song. While you're getting ready, I'm going to do a couple of announcements here.
Okay.
First of all, I got some really cool things to talk about here. First of all, as Jerome said, I am recording this, and so this will be posted. Usually I get them up about 3 or 4 days because I put them up on. Some of them go to YouTube, all of them go to Patreon. And speaking of Patreon, if you're not a patron member, a lot of people do ask what is Patreon. Patreon is way number one of how you can be a good supporter. As Sean would say, he says, sometimes we have Fletcherholics, meaning people are really into their hobby. And what do you see do you see the website right now? What do I have up on the screen, folks?
Not quite yet. It's there it is. It's up there now.
Is that Patreon? Okay, I don't know what screen I have on. So, all right. So if you're looking at this and it says "Become a Patron," is that what it says there in your screen?
Yes.
Okay. So this is I'm on the browser that I'm not a patron. Okay, I'm actually a patron, but if you weren't, you'd have the option to follow, which you'll get notified. And as you'll see, there's some posts that are unlocked, and then there are some posts that are not unlocked. And if you become a patron, you can unlock basically all of them. And so you'll see that I make it accessible to most, and some are easy to get to, some are not. We also give setups. Dawn will give information, setup tips on her classes. Sometimes Joni and Dawn will put their intros for some of these songs. Now, I would have to tell you, I have firsthand experience of telling you that that's not easy to do. It's easy for them, but so sometimes you can, if, for example, let me go back to here. So a lot of times they'll put on, I don't know which one of these posts has it, but she'll have a thing where it says introduction for such and such. There's setups. You'll see all the classes that Carrie teaches. Plus there's bonus content that is not even live classes. So, and then the cool thing about this is if you have a particular PA that you really like, you could actually search videos by PAs. You can see here there's 26 that Carrie taught. Sean Maloney's got 15. I think Dawn is up to over 100 now, wherever her name is at, somewhere in here. You can actually search in here. So if I wanted to know all the classes that Jerome Johnson did, I do that, and then I just click search, and then it'll show all of the things that Jerome has done, performed, played, taught, all sorts of cool stuff. So it's a great way to support Fletcher Music Centers. Another great way to support Fletcher Music Centers, Jerome likes to say, just upgrade your organ, right, Jerome?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great way. So be open.
Hey.
There's nothing wrong with it. Why? Because that's how we're able to do all this stuff. It's plain and simple.
Oh, by the way, Robert, I got a marquee coming in. I found out.
And we got a marquee coming in. Oh, those are rare, very hard.
Rare. Okay.
Now, another thing that we have coming up, mark your calendar. Don't mark your calendars, make a note. We are going to, starting at the end of this month, in Florida and in Arizona, and then again in August, we are going to have special guest artists that are, Elvis has left the building for a moment, so I got to drag, oh, there he is. I thought maybe he had to go to the potty. We are going to have special guest artists coming to our stores starting at the end of August. Just to give you an idea, some of you may remember a person by the name of Jason Bontrager, who went on to further his musical knowledge. He went back to school last year, and we have the opportunity of having him visit some of our stores. We're going to have him doing that in some of our stores. I believe we're bringing Joe Fontesha out from Florida to Arizona next month for the day, so locally. And in both states, folks, we are going to have Robert Roman and Marco Mendez performing concerts in each of our stores in July and August. We're going to provide 3 concerts a day. We're bringing Marco out of his little garage. And when I say that, I mean literally, because he teaches a lot of his online classes out of his garage. And that's coming up very, very soon. So at the end of July, starting the last week of July, and then carrying us into August, we're going to have all special guest artist days. Here's what you need to know. The flyers we're going to mail to everyone. Once we have everything finalized, we'll send emails out to everybody. We will then post it on our website in the individual stores. And for those of you who are not in your local store, we are going to broadcast one event of Jason, Joe, and Marco, so that you at least get the opportunity to experience it from wherever you're at. Unless you want to take a flight and join us, it'll be worth it to visit one of those. So we'll give you advance notice on all of those and where everything is going. If you can't make it, can't get on a plane and go visit us, I've seen it done. And some flights are pretty cheap these days, but keep an eye out. That's coming real soon once we have everything announced. you'll get notified one way or the other. So with that said, Mr. Jerome Johnson here is going to close off the class today with a special number. So take it away, Mr. Jerome Johnson.
Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We'll see you in Vegas.
Thank you, Jerome.
Thank you. Y'all have a good Saturday now.